Hey everyone, I'm Brittany Skyler, and today is Tuesday, June 17th. You're now watching Open, a program that brings the Bronx and New York City straight to you. Don't forget to stay connected with us via social media at BronxNet TV. The Bronx Museum's Teen Council is a paid internship program for New York City high school students ages 14 through 19 that provide opportunities to engage with contemporary art and the museum space. It runs in both the fall and spring and includes a 4-week summer program. Teens participate in a variety of projects, including meeting with artists, curating exhibitions, and creating art. Joining me now is the museum educator for the Bronx Museum, Wildriana de Jesús Paulino. Good morning. Thank you for joining us.
Good morning, Vinny. Thank you so much for inviting me here.
Of course. So, to start things off, let's talk about what the Teen Council at the Bronx Museum is all about.
Yes, so as you mentioned, the Teen Council program is a program that holds teenagers into the museum and basically introduces them to everything that the museum has to offer, not only in the creative field, but also in the community setting. So at the Bronx Museum, we accept these teens basically as interns, and this is a paid opportunity. So they are compensated for everything that they do here, which goes from collaborating with artists to making their own exhibitions, developing their own artworks, but also collaborating with what happens inside of the museum. One of the main things that we focus on, it's on actually voicing out the teen perspective into the museum, which may look like the teens collaborating with the curators or teens collaborating in public programs that we hold around.
That's amazing. And now, one thing I'd say would set this program apart is the payment, right? We don't see a lot of payment for teens in that age bracket. But tell me, what else makes this program stand out and differ from others here in New York City?
I think as someone who actually also comes from a team program, when I was a high school student, I participated in a team program at a different museum. What sets us apart, of course, besides the compensation, the empowerment that you feel for getting compensated for creative work at such an early age, is the fact that we really do make an effort to include them onto every aspect of the museum. So they have a lot of agency, and we really trust them into developing and taking on responsibilities around family programs that we hold and the events that they host. Some of these may look like last summer, the teen summer cohort, they helped develop the labels for making room and exhibition that we hold at the museum. And currently, the exhibition that we hold right now, Working Knowledge, the font that is being used actively throughout the exhibition was developed alongside with artist Lin Jun and the fall cohort of the Teen Council. So they work around everywhere, and they see the names in the labels around the museum, which I find is very empowering.
Absolutely. And now you mentioned that you were a student of a teen council yourself.
Yeah.
So tell me a little bit about your experience and how did that end up influencing you into your position today?
Oh, yes. So I was a student at a different team program in a different museum. But as someone who is now on the other end, who is an educator now, it influenced a lot of my decisions after that, after I was 17 years old. So it taught me that there is a world, that there are possibilities of professional development within the museum context. I never learned about any of these professions, like being a museum educator, a registrar, a curator. I never heard any of those professions until I was actually introduced to these programs. So I think that it gives the opportunity to young people to know that they can pursue a creative field.
And so, would you say that the education component is one of the ways that the teens are empowered through this program?
Yes. So it's the program is held, of course, through the education department. So it is, of course, education, but it is also creative freedom. The classroom that we hold in the museum, which is the third floor, basically belongs to them. That's their living studio. So alongside developing ideas for events and for the exhibitions they hold, and proposals, they also have access to all of the materials that we hold at the museum, that and more. So we also develop projects and prompts to basically introduce them to new techniques or sometimes artworks and making that is related to an exhibition that we have on view of a visiting artist. So this is another way that they get encouraged.
And so tell me, what does a day-to-day look like for a teen in this program?
Our day to day is very different, but the one constant is the check-ins. So of course we start with the check-in and with a very interesting questions every day. You never know what will come out. But then after, of course, we do the check-in. We then go through some housekeeping stuff. So housekeeping just meaning how is the day going to look like? Our days during the fall semester and the spring semester usually are 2 hours from 4:30 to 6:30. So we go through the laundry list. What we need to get done. Do we need to start writing labels? Do we need to start thinking, brainstorming, or proposal for the open call? Do we need to review anything? Are we going to interview or meet someone from the museum or have an artist talk? With one of the exhibiting artists. So it may look always different, but the one constant is that engagement that we give them, and us facilitators, us educators, we're just there as facilitators. We basically just go through the list, but they take on their responsibility to approach it however they see fit, which is usually good.
Yeah, of course. And I mean, it is different every day, but it sounds very structured, which again, I think is so important for teens.
Yeah.
So tell me, what are some standout projects that standout projects or maybe some staple projects that they participate in?
Well, as of recently, one of the standout projects that they just finished and is actually part of the culture of the Teen Council program since it was founded in 2005. It's the creation of their zine. So they publish a zine, and a zine, for those of us who are not familiar with it, is basically a short form magazine. So they create this zine. They discuss the topics, they choose on the theme, they also create the templates, they create the content for it, and they arrange it. And we have gotten to the point that we are teaching them how to print it in-house. That can go many ways, but the point is to give them the agency to create this staple that is part of the Teen Council program, but to make it their own. And other projects, of course, right now we're coming up to the opening reception of the Teen Council exhibition. It was an open call. The title is All Points Perspective. It's quite a long title, but very nice. And the opening reception will actually be tomorrow, Wednesday 18, from 5 p.m. to 7 p.m. And everyone is welcome to come into the Bronx Museum to see.
That's awesome. Tell me, what can they expect when they walk in?
When they walk in, the exhibition will be on the second floor. And aside from witnessing the beautiful work that was submitted to this open call, and this actually is work that was not created by the teens. This is work that the teens put up the work out, and then they went as a judging panel. They went through all of the options, and then they judge what artwork actually connects to the theme of the open call. So we're going to see a lot of those works. You're also going to see the zine that they created, and everyone will be free to take any copies. They're all free to take. You're also going to, of course, listen to music, and the teams will also be hosting a couple of activities to engage the public with the exhibition they're organizing.
The zine sounds so exciting. I really wish there was a project. Like, I would really wish I got to do a project like that when I was in school. But tell me, through this program, are there any college or career pathways that open up for the students?
Well, the way that we approach that is by introducing teens to the museum stuff. I think just like many museum teen programs across the city, the way that you grow and follow a career path is through meaningful connections and is through exposure. So the way that we do that is basically by exposing them to these people and making those meaningful connections.
Yeah, absolutely. Everything I've heard so far sounds so fun and so exciting. So tell me, you mentioned that the summer applications are open and they close on June 29th. Tell me a little
Yeah.
bit about the application process.
Yeah, so the application process, well, there are a couple of questions, but basically it will ask you why you're interested of being part of the teen summer or the teen council. You know, where are you coming from, and also a submission of any piece of creative work. And I want to emphasize creative work because that doesn't mean that you have to be a great drawer, a great painter. A great piece of creative work can be just a really nice essay, a nice poem. We have a lot of writers, and we love writers because we need writers for the zine.
Yeah.
We ask for that, and we ask you to explain how does this artwork, you know, relates to you, and why are you choosing it to represent yourself. And also then we do an interview, in-person interviews. And the interview basically has two things. One, they are working in groups, and another one is a one-on-one interview, and then from that we decide.
That sounds so fun. It is a great process, right? And again, it's an artistic process, which is
Yeah.
really cool. So at the end of this, what do you hope that the teens take away from this program?
So by the end of this program, one of the things that not only I hope, but I witness that they take away, it's a deeper understanding of the value of the museum in the community, because many times we see the museum as white walls that just showcase fancy artwork that we cannot touch. So letting them understand and know that not only is the museum a community space for the people, by the people, I feel like the Bronx Museum represents that. It's also a space where you can be creative, where you can become part of the conversation. And of course, besides that community that is formed within the museum, another takeaway that I see they take, and I hope that they take, it's just that nobody makes art alone. And by making art alone, I don't mean necessarily being an artist, but just being involved in any sort of creative field or any sort of creative doing. Teen Council is very focused on working in collaboration, working in community, not only within ourselves, but also across the museum as a whole. So I think that's one of the main takeaways.
That's amazing. Well, Diana, thank you so much for sitting down with us this
Of
morning. I
course.
learned so much about this program, and it is very, very exciting. So thank you.
Thank you so much, Brittany. It was a pleasure to be here.
Thank you. So, to our viewers at home, if you want to learn more about this program, please go to their website at bronxmuseum.org. Don't go away. We'll be back with more open after this.